the Proverbs in Action Show. I am your host, Autumn.
And I am the assistant host, Anthony, but you can call me Tony. We are excited that you are joining us today.
Today, we will be learning about trust.
Guess what? I actually checked my email this week, and so I know who the guest star is, and I'm so excited! Yeah!
Good for you, Tony. And since you already know which Bible person we are learning about today, why don't you tell us?
We are going to meet Queen Esther. Yeah, I'm so excited. Woohoo! So I have a whole box of collector's edition People of the Bible cards of her, and I am going to get her to sign them all. Yeah!
Well, Tony, remember not to crowd her. Remember, she is coming a very long way and traveling a very long time to be on the show today. Let's go now to our resident archaeologist and translator, Fiona, who will read us today's verse and explain to us what it means. Over to you, Fiona. Fiona, can you hear me? Is there something wrong with the connection?
Yes, I can hear you, Autumn. It's just, somebody stole the tree that was here.
I'm sorry, what? How do you steal a tree?
I don't know how it was stolen, but it was there yesterday and now it's gone.
That's a good point.
Anyway, today's proverb comes from chapter 16, verse 3. It says, "Give your plans to the Lord, and you will do well." Let's take a closer look at what this means for us. Here is a translation for you. This verse is saying, when I pray and ask God for help in what I'm doing, things can go so much better for me. Back to you, Autumn.
Thank you, Fiona. I hope you find your tree. Anyway, we will continue learning about today's proverb right after this short break. Oh, hello. It's me, Alan. Okay, so this time I am confident that I can play you my song. I just know it. Okay, let's start with a short dance break. Wow, you can all really dance. Wonderful. Okay, so as you can see, I'm back at the piano, and I think you'll be super happy with how much better this will sound than last time. Okay, ready? It's gonna sound amazing. Ta-da! I did it! See, with hard work, you too can... turn off. You didn't see anything. That didn't happen. I think I should go now. Bye. A long time ago, in the time of the Old Testament, there was a young woman named Esther. Esther lived in a kingdom ruled by King Xerxes. The king was on the lookout for a new queen because he had banished the old one for not listening to him. So he gathered up all the young women in his kingdom so he could choose. Esther was one of these women. Once Esther met the king, he immediately was pleased with her and gave her special treatment and food and made her queen. King Xerxes ruled over a large kingdom with many different cultures and ethnicities. Esther was Jewish, but she kept her identity hidden from everyone, just as her uncle Mordecai had suggested. Mordecai visited the palace often now that his niece was queen. One of the noblemen of the kingdom decided to make everyone bow down to him. Mordecai was visiting the palace at this time, and when the nobleman demanded that everyone bow, Mordecai would not. The nobleman was so angry he wanted to punish Mordecai. He knew that Mordecai was a Jew, so he decided to make a decree that all the Jews in the kingdom be killed. The nobleman went to the king with his new decree, and the king agreed. Mordecai heard what was going to happen, and he immediately went to Queen Esther and begged her to do something to save their people. Esther knew that she had to do something, but she also knew that the king had a rule that if anyone came into his throne room without him asking them to come, they would be put to death. This rule was for everyone, including the queen. Even though Esther was afraid that she might be put to death, she decided to trust God to protect her. When she stepped into the king's throne room, he was happy to see her instead of angry, and he let her come in. Queen Esther came into the throne room and invited the king and the nobleman to a banquet. Once at the banquet, the king asked Esther what it was that she wanted, and Esther revealed her identity as a Jew and accused the nobleman of trying to kill her people. The king was horrified when he realized what was going to happen to his queen's people, and he punished the nobleman. The king then made a law that saved the Jews. Because of Esther's incredible bravery and trust in God, her people were saved.
Hello and welcome back. Today's very special guest is someone who has traveled a very long way and a very long time to be on the show today. Please welcome Queen Esther. How are you, Queen Esther?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm so pleased to be on your show today.
We are going to talk about today's proverb with Queen Esther, as well as ask her some questions about her story. The first question is, as always, what happened in this story?
Well, the old queen was banished because she didn't do what the king wanted. So he gathered a bunch of ladies to choose a new queen. I was one of those ladies, and I was chosen to be queen. My uncle, Mordecai, refused to bow down to one of the king's noblemen, and as a result, a law was made to kill all the Jews. I decided to do something about it, and the Jews were saved.
As we heard in the story, Esther showed incredible trust for God. Our next question is, how did Esther trust God?
The king had a rule that said if anyone came to him without him first asking them to come, they would be put to death. I was very afraid, but I knew I had to do something to save my people. I trusted that God would watch over me and protect me from the king's anger. And God did, and he kept me safe.
Proverbs 16 verse 3 talks about trusting God with our plans. Esther was faced with some very scary problems. Her people were in danger, and her plan to save them put her in danger too. But she put her trust in God that her plan would work and that she would be kept safe. And God protected her and helped her to save her people. We can pray and ask God to help us with our plans too. It can be something big and unknown, like planning to play a sport or join a dance class. It can also be something small, like a plan to go to the park. God will be with us always and help us no matter how big or small our plans are. Our last question for today is, this week, how can I trust God? Thank you so much for joining us on the show today, Queen Esther. It was so great to learn about trust from you.
You are very welcome. I had a lot of fun.
Let's get active. We have been learning about trust. So for today's activity, we are going to sing and dance along to a song about trust.
This video will end and the song will play. Once the song is done, the show will continue. Let's worship.